Greetings to all my 10th grade children. Today we are going to deal with the 4th class in the first unit, Outbreak of World War and its Aftermath. I welcome you all to this e-learning platform. Today we are going to deal with the topics, the Armistice and the Treaty of Versailles. That section, and under that section you can see all the topics here, subtopics. Germany surrendered in November 1918. This is a very important point, an important topic in the lesson. And Germany surrendered in November 1918, Armistice 11 November 1918. So there was a treaty in 11 November 1918 and Germany has to give up all her powers and all her submarines and everything during the World War time. The first topic is Peace Conference in Paris, provisions of the treaty, criticism of the peace settlement, fallout of the First World War, impact on India. Let's see how Germany has been affected in this peace settlement. Peace Conference in Paris. You can see this conference has been set up in order to take over the central powers. You all know already in the previous slides, in the previous classes, we learned that central powers were Germany, Britain and France and Austria, and they were really were in a leading position in the World War time. And Germany was not ever tried to give up his powers for the Allies. He was going against Allies, and in this part of the lesson, we are going to see how Germany has to surrender his power, naval power and his authority over as a central power in the World War time. And because in this Paris Peace Conference, they were threatening, they were giving a difficult time to Germany to take a decision that if he is not going to give up his authority, he would have to undergo a renewed war in the World War time. So that was a difficult situation for the Germany, and Germany has to give up his power. So this is the peace conference. Let's see who were the leading people in the peace conference. It was Woodrow Wilson from USA, Lloyd George, Prime Minister of England, Clemenceau, Prime Minister of France. They were in the treaty, and in this treaty what they were doing is they were asking Germany to sign to give up all his naval power and other military powers. So let's go to the next slide. In the next slide, you can see the provisions of the treaty, what were the agreements or what were the decisions taken in the treaty. You can see Germany was guilty of starting the war, pay reparation for the losses, 6,600 million pounds. And in the treaty, they were asking Germany to pay for the Allies because of Germany. Actually, what is happening is there was a loss because of Germany, and they were asking Germany to repay 6,600 million pounds, which was a great amount for Germany, and Germany was threatened due to this. So he has to give up, and at least they were asking you have to pay it in installments, but he's not ready to do that. Not ready to do that in the sense he's not able to do that. If he's doing that, his country will be completely under loss. So the next one is German army should be limited, no navy. Okay, and that navy means he can have navy but no submarines. So all the submarines had to be handled to the Allies and no air force. So these were the threatening agreements given to Germany, and Germany has to give up all his naval power. Union of Austria and Germany. Again, they were having in the third point that Germany should not go with the Austria to create a power. So what he is doing is he has to forbidden Austria. So Austria got its independence at this time period. So this is the third point in the treaty. The next one is Germany forced to give up titles and rights. You already know Germany was the superpower. He was the head of the central power. So that titles and everything he has to give up, and those titles should be given to the Allies and German colonies under League of Nations, and all the German colonies, whatever German territories were there, annexed territories, everything should be given brought under the League of Nations. So Germany was really, in a sense, he has been surrounded by all these kinds of threatened agreements. So Germany has no other way to, he has to give up at this time period. Germany forced to revoke, that is, two treaties are being taken here. Treaty of Brest-Litovsk with Russia and Bucharest with Bulgaria. So here Germany again have to do some reparations. He has to give up all the whatever losses he has done through his war in the initial periods. They have to be repaid at this treaty. So again Germany having a great threat in this two treaties again. The next thing is Alsace-Lorraine. This was a great power to the Germany. Germany was having a great territorial power through Alsace-Lorraine, and he was gaining strength through that. But now in the agreement, in the treaty, what they are asking is they have to return that Alsace-Lorraine to France back. So that was again really a disadvantage to the Germany. And Russian territories, what are the Russian territories are? Finland, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania have to be given independence because they were under the control of Germany. So they were asked to be given independence. Now the next one is Northern Schleswig, another territory which was given to should be given to Denmark, and small districts to Belgium. So all the Belgium territories have to be given back to. So again Germany is completely under loss. He's been lost by his territories. He's lost by the reparations of 6,600 million pounds, and his naval power has been taken away. So everywhere Germany is getting a drawback in all the situations. And Poland recreated with corridor to the Baltic Sea containing German port Danzig Free City. So here what is happening is again Poland is a part of Russia, and Russia this has to be recreated, and this Danzig city, that is Poland was combined with Danzig city, but Danzig city has to be made a free city. It was asked in the agreement, so that was again a drawback for the Germany. Rhineland was demilitarized. Its military power was taken by the Germany, but all the military power should be given back to Rhineland was asked in the agreement. So Germany was utterly under full drawback and disadvantages. So Germany was not able to enjoy the power as a central power in the World War. The next one, you can see a small thing about President Wilson. President Wilson laid down his 14 points which were to be followed by the Allies. Actually, President Wilson was giving for the Allies 14 points. The most important one was he highlighted was the need for a general association of nations for the purpose of affording mutual guarantees of political independence and territorial integrity to great and small states alike. Here President Wilson was having a equality with all the countries, even if it's a great power, even if it's a small power, greater state or smaller state, everyone have to have their own integrity and own political independence. No one should be a slave or under control of another country. That was written and brought down by President Wilson here. So it was here, one of his interesting points was an opportunity to Russia for the independent determination of her own political development and national policy and assistance also of every kind that she may need or desire. He was really interested in Russia, and Russia was a great nation with a greater territorial area, border, but still Russia was under control of Germany in superpower, in central power, and but Wilson wants Russia to be free, and he is asking Russia should be independent with determination, and she should have her own political development, because Russia, even though is a greater thing, we already learned in the initial part of the lesson that Russia was not so strong as she has a greater territory. So this here he is saying she should have a political development and national policy and assistance, that is she should be empowered in every way. She should whatever she desires she should have, that is if she want to have a good military, she should gain that, she should strengthen that military power. Like that President Wilson has said. In overall, the first part he is saying all the nations should be independent, and the second part he is showing his great interest towards the Russia. In the next slide we are going to see that criticism of the peace settlement. What are the critics? What are the views about the critics who went through the peace settlement? The first thing is peace settlement based on principle, that is through this peace settlement only, Germany was completely brought under disadvantagement and all sort of drawbacks and failure. So, to the victor belongs the spoils, and the allies are the victors. Actually, allies were less powerful when we compare with them to the Central Powers. But here, through this settlement, what is happening is they were calculating all the losses created by the Germany, and they were asking Germany to repay all the losses. So what is happening? Finally, Germany becomes, even though he was a victor, he was powerful, he belongs to the spoils, because of his victory, he was spoiling others. He was not actually doing something great. So he becomes the spoils, and allies, who were the opposite parties, they were called to be as the victors. So that is the first criticism given by the peace settlement. Then the next one is self-determination. One of the 14 points of Woodrow Wilson, we saw that 14 points, and in that applied to all the people except German. So that's what he is saying. He was not considering German at all. Completely he was shooting, and he was attacking Germany and all things related to Germany. So he was completely attacking Germany, and he was helping all the other countries at this juncture. The next one is 6,600 million pounds were beyond Germany's capacity to repay it. So Germany was not able to do it even as installments also, because in other thing we saw that the naval routes were cut and the women and the children were really affected. So Germany was having another attack over the Britain and the France. So here now what we can see is 6,600 million pounds was not, so Germany was undergoing some losses in his country borders. So this situation was really a difficult one for Germany. The next one is Germany completely weakened in certain areas. We can see what are the areas. Politically he is weakened, economically he is weakened, and bordered by weak states. Already I said Alsace and Lorraine was a great strength for Germany, but here when all the colonies were asked to be given up or should be returned back to their own nations, Germany started getting weakened by the weaker nations, because remaining is whatever he has is all the small little states. It is not so powerful, which is not able to be ready to wage a war against any other countries. So Germany was completely utterly into a destruction. The next one is Wilson. Wilson betrayed Germans in Austria. Woodrow Wilson, we saw, he's completely attacking Germany in the peace settlement. So he completely betrayed Germans, and Austria was really a right-handed person for Germans. So he is also attacking Austrians, to whom he made promise that he is making a promise like he has to help other countries like that, and he is betraying Germans and Austrians here. The next one is Italy disappointed at peace settlement. Italy was completely disappointed because of the peace settlement, because he was not able to be part of the Central Powers. He was thinking he can annex some more areas with the help of Germany, but now he is not able to do. He is completely disappointed. Then Europe population mixed. Now this one is Europe. You know, in Europe, Russia is a bigger territorial country or nation. So Europe contains Britain, all the other nations in the European area, and those areas population were completely mixed. The languages are mixed, their faith, their belief, their nation, nationality, everything were completely mixed. So they were not able to determine proper political borders. For example, if you take in India, if you take Tamil Nadu means people who speak Tamil, major language is Tamil. So when we know the people who belongs to, who speaks Tamil, we can have a political border like Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and separately like that. But here they are not able to have a clear national frontiers, that is national borders here in Russia. That was really a great difficulty because of the colonies, because of the trade, because of the annexation. So all the things were mixed up, and Europe was not able to be having a good or proper national frontiers during this World War time. The next slide. Fallout of First World War. How the First World War came into almost to an end with few central powers having a few disadvantages. Let's see. The First World War affected more population. In First World War, we learned that not only through war, even certain diseases like influenza affected people, and so because of this, proper nutrition, proper food, proper ammunition, proper each and everything were not being provided correctly to certain areas. So large number of people were died or affected in this time period. Nearly 8 million died in 4 years. In 4-year time period, 8 million died, and some among that million, few were affected by influenza in the year 1918. So that was a great loss. It was a really something we cannot calculate, or we cannot accept it. Such a great difficulty in the World War period. Then rise and consolidation of Soviet Union. At this time, Soviet Union is coming up. Soviet Union in the Russia was coming up. So that was a great another fault, because Russia has to be parted from German. So again, Russia is having another separate political power, as said by Wilson. So he started concentrating in that, and here Soviet Union rose up. So that became First World War, came to a fallout situation here. The next one, America entered war as debtor country. America was actually first, he was a very financially weak at the initial stages of the World War. But what is happening is, he entered the war as a debtor country. He was borrowing some money, like he was borrowing some ammunition, he was borrowing some help from the other central powers. But later what is happening is, as he was going through the World War, he became a money lender to the world. Such a great power he was gaining in that World War season. The next one is awakening of colonies, their attempts to gain freedom. Now colonies, even India was at that time, he was awakened. India was also awakened, and many colony like Africa and other states, other countries were really awakened at this juncture. And so what is happening is, they want to gain freedom. So through this, World War came to an end, because the powers were broken, the union was broken. So completely all the colonies were started to come up, and they started to gain freedom. Turkey. The next one is Turkey. Here Mustafa Kemal Pasha, what he is doing is, he want to make Turkey more stronger. So he is modernizing Turkey. He is giving more military training. And so what is happening is, there comes Sultanate, the power of Sultanate, or the rule of Sultanate came to end, and Caliphate also came to end. So it was modernized. It was coming into a modern condition in the Turkey. So that was a very good thing, and Turkey was not under the control of World War. The next one, war gave a great fillip to the women's movement in East and West. Many areas, many places, women started having a thought of getting empowerment. So even if it is a East or even if it is a West, any countries, women started having certain movements, and that made the World War to come to an end. The next one is impact on India. This is the last part of your portion today. Impact on India. Here how India was having an impact due to this World War. So significant on impact served in Europe, Africa, West Asia. What is happening is, from India, because India was a colony of Britain, and Britain was using certain Indians for the war, to wage war, to attack other countries. They were using Indians for the Europe, Africa and West Asia. So soldiers, after this World War came to almost to an end, what they are doing is, they are coming back to India, their native country. So new ideas on Indian society. When they go out, when they go to overseas, they automatically gain new knowledge, new experience, which make them to become a new or great thinkers. So when they came back, it was really helping them to have some new ideas to save their country, to help their country. So like that, those all the soldiers, when they came back, they were really bringing inside new ideas to the Indian society. So Indian contribute for the pounds of 300 millions in cash, and the pound of 125 millions in loans. Really, India was being sucked up, and it was being taken away many of its resources from India as cash and as loans. So India was also under getting into a poor state, economic distress. That created an economic distress, and India also had some influenza attack in the Indian society. So again, India, even though it helped in the World War, it was not directly taking part in the World War, but still it was also affected many losses due to this World War. So as a cash and loans, It was affected a lot, and finally it was affected due to the influenza also. The next one is, you can see many other, you have already learned many Indian leaders and few leaders, because when they went overseas, they got new ideas, they got new opinions and new modernized ideas, thinking also. So this helped them to bring out Home Rule movement, and where in this Home Rule movement, Congress reunited with them and they created more revolution in the country. Then Western revolutionary ideas influenced the nationalists like Bala Gangadhar Tilak, Gopalakrishna Gokhale and so on. So certain nationalists were influenced by the Western revolutionary ideas in this juncture. So India was having a great loss on one side, but India was gaining a rebirth, was taking a rebirth through modernized ideas and thinking at this time period. The next one, Khilafat movement came to an end, and then British disappointed Indians by not giving assured freedom. You all know British was always like a kind of a cheating way. He used to say that he will be giving freedom in a particular time period, but still they had to fight a lot for that again, and India was not given freedom at the right time. So that was the thing. So that created a great impact on the Indian society. Thank you. Have a nice day.